Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ambitious Views podcast. My name is Corrigan, and I am here with the one and only
Place.
Blaze. And so just welcome back to another episode of Ambitious Views, where we talk about film, television, and great storytelling across various mediums. So today we're going to be jumping right into current events that's going on as far as like updates on DC timelines. A very, very interesting biopic that was announced. I want to say like maybe last week. So we got some good stuff to really chat about today. As always, we're here for a good time, not a long time. Without further ado, we're going to ease on into the this or that of this week, and Blaze has the reins on that. So we're going to see what she got for me and what I'm going to come up with.
All right. So, for those who don't know, Corgan here is a creator, director, writer, producer, and everything. Uh, um, Even recently released a documentary. So check that out.
Please do.
But he's also a big Star Wars fan.
Mm.
So my this or that has to do with a little bit of both of those things. So, would you rather have a docu-series created that goes with the creation development of Star Wars from the beginning to now, or would you rather have a new Star Wars trilogy come out and you get to work on one of them?
Oh man, easy. Put me in, coach. Put me in
Put me in, coach.
the game. Put me in the game. Now I will say, I'm not like I guess the traditional slash current um fans,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm willing to take the reins. The reason why I say that because sometimes the fans can be a little mean. They kind of bully the people a little bit. So
Yep.
but I would definitely jump in that thing and take on a new trilogy. Easy money, easy. Put me in the
You don't
game.
you don't want to see the development? You don't want to see how it
No,
came to be?
no, it's my time. It is my time. You
That's the
know,
past. We don't need that anymore.
Oh, but seriously, that would be really dope. I'm not gonna lie, even though I really enjoy sci-fi and fantasy projects, even though I have like one idea in mind, that is something that I feel like you have to really just be on your P's and Q's because it could easily be super great or get turned off in about 10 minutes,
Yes.
so I mean, it'll be a very big responsibility for me to take on, or to be a part of the project, whichever way that would possibly occur in Blaze world. But I think I would really enjoy being a part of that and just seeing how things are and just continuing the story. I know I would love to maybe venture out more on Ahsoka's character
Mm-hmm.
and see what type of ways that can kind of branch out even more, or maybe create a brand new character. Or I will say that I feel that we don't have much information on Master Windu, so I would love to do a background story of like how Master Windu either becomes a Jedi or just like how his background was leading up to becoming a Jedi Master and being on the council. I think that would be really dope. So Disney, anybody from Disney, executive producers, if you end up hearing this podcast, holla at your boy. You
Hit them
know,
up.
hit me up. If you don't feel like you can trust me behind the camera, I can play a young Master Windu. I can shave the head.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I can do what I need to be where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? But
we
yeah.
need to
So
see it. We need to see it. It's
yes.
Black History Month, you guys. Make it
Oh,
happen.
make it happen. Make dreams come what? True. Come on. Ain't this what Disney?
Yes, yes.
Oh, Blaze, what are we watching? What are we watching right now? What are we looking at?
So still watching Mayflower Witch on AMC. And then for those who aren't familiar with that show, basically it's about this woman who finds out that she a witch and she has this whole family of witches, and it's like a bunch of weird stuff as to why she didn't grow up with her family and everything. It's picking up, it's getting really good, and it's getting really weird. Yeah.
Hey, we love we.
I did finish Demon Slayer yesterday when I was retwisting my hair. Finished
Hey,
that out. The last flashy season. So hopefully they make another one so I can see what happens next.
yeah.
And then I'm just waiting on the next season of Outer Banks 3, which comes out on my brother's birthday, February 23rd.
Hey, now I'm telling you. Now let me ask you this: as far as Demon Slayer, because I know it was
Mhm.
kind of slow in the beginning, at least for me. Odds are two, but did you enjoy this last arc? Like,
I
how
actually
was it?
enjoyed the first arc better.
Okay,
The last arc, I did not dislike it, but
pretty slow for you.
it was slow. I feel like I feel like the second and the third arc were slower than the first arc.
I can see that. I can see that, especially with him finding, excuse me, finding his family, killed and everything like that. It was kind of like a quick pace, and then even the training sequences were actually pretty dope. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I get where you're coming from with that.
but the third arc, it was like he would keep on being like, "I'm in so much pain. I don't know if I can do it," and I'm like, "Can you just fight or just go somewhere else?" Like
Get up, get up,
every
get up.
5 seconds, I'm in pain. Let me try this type of breathing. But if I do this breathing, I'm gonna pass out. Like, pass out then. Pass out, please.
For me, we are finishing up Death Note. So it's kind of funny. I was listening back on that last episode and I was like, dang, I was choosing either Death Note or whatever. And we chose Death Note and then we're almost done with it. And I will say that Death Note is very, very interesting. If like, so the premise of it is basically it's this high school student that's very, very smart. And one day he's sitting in his office and he looks outside. He sees a book just falls to the ground. So he goes and picks it up, reads the rules, and basically found out that basically whenever he writes the name down in this book, that person dies.
Oh, it's a burn book where people die for real.
Basically. So basically these books belong to these creatures or wherever like that in another world, and sometimes they can lose their books. It's been known for them to lose their books, and it'll go into different worlds. So this one ends up going into the Earth, and he ends up picking it up, seeing it. And the two main rules, though, to even make this work, anybody has to see the face of the individual that they're trying to kill and know their name. As long as they know how they look in the face and know their name, they're gone.
Okay.
They have a heart attack and they just die.
Okay.
So,
Little Arya Starks in there.
right. So I will say it's very interesting. What pulls you in is that it's not like, at least the experience that I previously had with other anime films. And so I'm very interested to see how it ends. This is definitely one of those shows that's just like, I'm really here to the end to really figure out how in the world is this all come to an end. Overall, that's pretty much all that I'm really just on right now. I will want to follow up with what I said last episode and say that it is February 1st.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
February 1st. And if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not mistaken, a certain
Mm-hmm.
movie
Mm.
that's been out since the end of last year
Not too much. Not too much.
now available on a certain streaming platform.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that's included, not gonna name any blaze, I mean, not gonna name any names, but
Wow.
somebody has access to this film and still has not watched it. And I
Wow.
just want to let our listeners and supporters know that Blaze, yes,
We'll be
Blaze
watching Black
has not
Panther 2
watched Black Panther
this
2 yet.
week. I'll be watching it this week.
We gonna see.
I
We
will.
we gonna or Disney Plus gonna see, I guess, But anyway, I just want to throw a little shot. Um, Projects that we looking forward to for 2023. What you got?
Let's see. Of course, Creed 3. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, Jonathan Major, Tessa Thompson.
Hard
Gotta
hitters.
watch the gotta watch the trilogy, you
Got
know.
to.
And I think that comes out March 3rd.
Mhm.
I'm a huge Scream fan. I don't really like horror movies, but I mess with the Scream movies.
I
And so
did not.
the sixth one, huh?
I did not know that.
Yes.
Hmm.
The sixth one comes out March 10th. Apparently Sydney won't be in it. Nev Campbell won't be in that one, but you never know. They may say that, and then she pop up at the end.
Okay.
She wanted more money, which I mean, honestly, she been in all six or all five of them. She deserves more money. So hopefully she do pop up. We'll see. It's supposed to. They're leaving the town and they're going to New York. So I saw the trailer and like Ghostface had a gun, and I was like, oh, we're raising the stakes. I can get
Turn it
shot
up.
now.
2023, man. I ain't running no
Wait
more.
a minute. No, no knives. We got guns. And then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the second one is dropping on June 2nd. So I'm excited for that one. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, like anything Spider-Man. Um, and then they clone Tyrone, which is coming on Netflix with Jamie Foxx,
Saw that.
John Boyega, what's his name? Bodega?
Boyega, I believe. Maybe.
Boyega. And Tiana Paris, they're gonna be in that, and that's July 21st on Netflix.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 I got you. Got you. Well, that's dope. Well, similar to you, Creed 3, very interested in seeing how this story unfolds. This would be Michael B. Jordan's directing debut. So I'm very
Right.
interested to
Exciting.
see how this comes out. I'm pretty sure he'll do great. It seems like a lot of times when actors have gotten a good amount of films or television shows on their belts and they transition to behind the camera, they seem to usually do pretty dang good. Plus, it's not even all just about the director as well. I know he has a really great team behind him. So I'm very interested to see how it's going to turn out. Ironically, I've actually been on a recent Rocky um, series marathon, if you will, through these past maybe like 2 weeks. And so Audrey and I have been watching them, and we finished up with Rocky 5 the other day. And I will say the crazy thing about it, when I watched Rocky for like straight through, like I did as far as the series, without finishing up with what's the name of that? Rocky Balboa, I think is the sixth movie before we go into the Creed series or trilogy. Is Rocky 4 was always my favorite. Always my favorite. And I will say that after watching it, I think Rocky 3 might be my favorite now out of all of them. So yeah, so Creed 3, Ant-Man 3, of course. I will say, even though Ant-Man, I guess his character has always been pretty unique within the Marvel universe, kind of passive comedy, even though I feel like the Guardians of the Galaxy characters slash, series have, really taken on the reins of pure comedy and just really good character development and everything like that, which Ant-Man is really good too, especially with his very unique I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who gives a recap of what all happens. Like this person said this person said that, and I tell you, I said this, I said that. But it's pretty funny. But I'm really interested to see Ant-Man after Endgame, what's been going on with he and the family. And also, this is where they finally introduce Kang the Conqueror, who is the new big bad of Marvel. We got introduced to another variant of him in Loki. So I'm very interested to see where the story takes place, how it unfolds when it comes to the Marvel universe. Because Kang the Conqueror, like I remember I was watching something basically in the comic books, Kang the Conqueror actually killed Thanos by himself in one of the comic books, I believe. So it's a pretty bad dude. Mandalorian season 3, 1 was good, 2 was even better. So I'm pretty sure it's high stakes for season 3. They're taking their time with season 3, so I'm really interested to see how the story continues to unfold. Like I said, based on the last couple of episodes in season 2, it seems like they're going to be heading back to Mandalore, which is very unique, considering the fact that at this point, I thought pretty much most of the Mandalorians were possibly dead, or their kingdom or their land or whatever like that wasn't really up to par anymore. And just to give you kind of a reminder, this is during uh, the reign of Darth Vader as well. So I'm very interested to see how this story is going to be unfolding, especially since we finally had got an Obi-Wan series out as well. The Ahsoka series is supposed to be coming out sometime this year. They still, for some reason, haven't announced the actual date and stuff like that, but I'm really excited about that. Once again, if you have not watched the Clone Wars series, you will be completely lost on the true essence of who Ahsoka is. So please make sure that you avoid spoilers when they start announcing things, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be hitting it really hard with marketing pretty soon with Ahsoka, especially after Mandalorian launches. And so I'm telling y'all now, man, just make sure that y'all watch Clone Wars and finish it before you start Ahsoka. I have been told that Rebels, that animated series that comes after the Clone Wars series, is pretty good too. It kind of continues our story, so we still need to kind of watch that as well. But I know for a fact you get a good meat and understanding of who Ahsoka is. And before I continue, I also forgot to include the series, the second season of Harlem, that's coming out, I
Oh
believe.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
this week. The
it's this
third, I
week,
think.
right? Probably like
Yeah, I
Friday.
want to say the third.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see it. I don't know if it's going to be a weekly release or all of the episodes going to be out on Amazon Prime. But man, when I tell y'all a new refreshing show, uh,
Mm-hmm.
this is Harlem. It's really dope. Of course, it takes place in an area of Harlem. And I guess to kind of give a premise of like kind of what Harlem, is about, Megan Good, who is pretty much kind of like the main character, it kind of centers a little bit around her, but they do a really good job in the writing space to allow us to get to know the other characters, pretty much her best friends, pretty well. And so
Mm-hmm.
basically, she's a professor, which is really dope. She's a professor, and she's kind of trying to get her ducks in a row when it comes to solidifying her career in the higher ed world. And then on top of that, she's dealing with some dating. Uh, I don't want to say issues, but moments,
Messy,
dating
messiness.
moments, dating messy moments, whatever you want to say. That gets very, very interesting at the end of the first season. And so the new one is coming out. So I highly recommend it. Not that it's really the same thing, but if you really just enjoyed the experience of watching Insecure and the character development and relationships, like I said, it's not the same
Mm-hmm.
thing, not to compare at all. But I do feel like if you enjoy Insecure, you're definitely going to enjoy Harlem. So definitely make sure you check that out if you can. And
Season
then
2 is February 3rd.
February 3rd, okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're gonna drop 2 episodes each week.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump on that. I'm gonna have to jump on that because man, the last episode, it was like, what? Like
Right. I
what?
was like, wait a minute, this can't be the last episode. I need to know what happens now.
Listen, listen, how the House of the Dragon did me,
Right.
So but yeah,
Hurt.
but
Just hurt.
what'd you say?
I said hurt, just hurt from House of
What?
the Dragon. Like,
I mean,
let's not
looking
even
at
talk about House of Dragon.
yeah, man, you looking at all that fire. I would have told you you could have kept looking at that fire if that's all we was gonna get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, the last thing on my list that I'm looking forward to is Transformers Rise of the Beast. So when I was growing up, I wasn't familiar with I guess the original Transformers. But I guess the original Transformers, when it comes to what we were used to, they came out live action wise with Shia LaBeouf and everything like that.
Mhm.
So I was used to the Beast version of Transformers where they was, I think it was like the cheetah, the gorilla, stuff like that. And so when I heard about this, I was really excited to find out about, you know, the direction of this, how it's going to go. So far, based on the trailer, it's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought like Optimus Prime and the rest of the game were going to transition into, you know, animal robots, but it seems like these are allies that maybe there are, you know, Autobots possibly, maybe, I don't know. But we're gonna see. But they got a really cool cast in it, very familiar director as well. I can't think of his name. Stephen Cable, I believe is his name. And so he actually directed the second Creed film. So he's very talented. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that all turns out.
I wish I remembered the creator's name, but this girl, she posted this video about how she would be afraid to be in the Transformers universe. Like
Mhm.
she was like, just imagine you driving on the street and a car just transformed. I would have been terrified and I would never drive again.
Yeah, that's entertaining. That's entertaining. I mean, it'll really make you second guess life. And not for me, I wouldn't even want to be around technology, to be honest, because
Exactly.
I think it was like the third one where it was like somebody's phone turned into something and a few other things, man. Because I think Ken Jeong, I believe that's his name. He played a character in it that was like comic relief, and it was really funny. And it was pretty crazy. But yeah, I definitely would not want to be living in the Transformers world because you literally never know. It makes you want to ride a bike.
Right.
That's
And what if the bikes transform one day?
oh gone, man.
All you got is your feet and your legs. We're going, no, you know what? Let me go get a horse.
A horse or maybe a skateboard. But cool. Well, it's that time, Blaze. It's time to transition on into the real take of this episode. So first, we're gonna start off with the DC announcement brought to you by James Gunn, who has brought really awesome projects like Guardians of the Galaxy with Marvel and Peacemaker. He is the co-CEO of the DC Universe now, so similar
Oh,
to
cool.
what the setup is with Marvel, but instead of one individual, they have two individuals. So one head is better than two at times. So
Yep.
I'm not going to go deep into the timeline and everything like that, but I just want to hit on some points that I feel like for most people who kind of like myself, who kind of passively keeps up with DC, but not very, very deep.
Yeah, like me
But
too.
I always wish for more, especially because I am a very big fan of their animated movies that is housed on HBO Max. These are things that came to mind. So the Shazam movie, the trailer dropped not too long ago, is getting ready to come out. Sadly, I am still behind. I just seen it, but I still have not watched the first Shazam movie, but I believe it was pretty
That's
good.
pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And so I still got to catch up with that. So I'll probably put that on my list pretty soon to check out. Along with, so we're continuing from that and we're going on into Shazam 2, which has been said in the announcement that it will lead to the Flash movie. So past all the speculations and everything like that, the Flash movie is happening. But James Gunn did say that the Flash movie will reset the entire universe.
Oh, nice.
Which,
Another reset.
yeah, which well, technically it hasn't really been a reset. It's just, yeah, we made this, but then I need you to get used to this version
Yeah.
without any explanation at all. And so
Mhm.
So yeah, so it seems like they're really going to be intentional about the way they tell the stories. I believe it was said that anything that we've seen or that's getting ready to come out, as far as like the Joker film and the last Batman film that came out, that would be considered in the other universe or something along those lines that was mentioned. But basically, it would not be considered actually canon. So there would be
Okay.
some films that was in the past that would be considered canon, and those others will not be, but will be respected and acknowledged without confusing the actual timeline that they're going to be sticking to after the reset from the Flash movie. So it's very interesting because I remember watching, it may have been the Flashpoint, which is the animated film, or maybe another one where at the end of it there was a big reset or something like that of some sorts or whatever. So it's very cool, and I feel like it's very smart of them to utilize that power of that superhero to help them kind of reset things, get back on track to what they feel like is best for the franchise. Now, I didn't catch the time, but is Peacemaker coming out this year, or is it going to be a little bit longer?
Well, I read now on that since they're having all these new developments and stuff, and they're doing the Amanda Waller, they're possibly push Peacemaker back.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Which will make which will make a lot of sense because I don't watch wrestling like I used to, but I have seen how John Cena has been bouncing in and out lately, and I do understand that it probably goes along with marketing of the new WWE game that's coming out or is already out now. So
Coming out.
so yeah, so that kind of
But
makes
they are supposed to use like the entire Peacemaker cast in the Amanda Waller show.
Mm.
Yeah, so that may also be why Peacemaker is being pushed back. Because probably whatever happens in Amanda Waller's show is going to set up Peacemaker too.
Okay, because I was curious about like, is this going to be a background story of like how Amanda Waller got to where she is? Is it current? Okay, so that'll be pretty interesting. So I'm interested to see how that goes. When you have certain actors on these projects, you got to make sure that you're really taking care of them in that space, and they're not going to come cheap. So sometimes it's a hit and miss. Sometimes the actor take on that opportunity and it doesn't go the way as planned. But for the most part, especially with Viola Davis, it seems like she does a really good job with picking roles that are either going to bring a very unique look to her that we haven't seen yet and ends up being really dope, or it's just something that's right up her alley and she does a great job and we love it. So
yeah, she's very versatile.
very, very, very. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming up next. So
it's the Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it drops November 17th.
Wow, that's a long title. Ladies, did you hear about that? There's a new biopic coming pretty soon, baby.
I did. That's why I have this shirt on.
Oh, okay.
Michael Jackson.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. Okay. You see,
a new Michael Jackson biopic.
Yeah, Michael Jackson biopic. Michael Jackson is finally getting a biopic. I guess in a sense a solo biopic because everybody
We done had a million.
apparently he has a lot of
Flex one that everybody hates. The 3-hour one about the family that was from his mom's perspective.
Yeah.
What's it? The Jacksons, An American Dream, something like that.
Yes, Jackson 5 or Jackson's American Dream. Like I will say that, well, first off, I did find out the reason why it's so long because originally it was a series.
Yeah.
But they play it out the whole entire day. So literally you wake up and then, you seeing, little Mike scared on the plane, and next thing you see, go to bed, Joseph. You see that. I don't
no more. You a liar.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it was really dope. It's a classic. They did a really good job out of all of them. I've never seen any other ones that I don't believe besides that one, and they did a really great job. So I'm not gonna lie, Blaze. I was really, really nervous when I think it was a representative of Michael Jackson's estate had mentioned that they would possibly be interested in bringing forth a biopic, and I was like, man, are y'all sure? Like, not it's just the fact that his platform, his presence, his impact in music and everything in between is so huge that's like, how do you tell it?
Right.
You know, and sometimes when we have these biopics and stuff like that, sometimes it can go really well. Sometimes, you know, there are mixed reviews of it and everything like that because everybody, it's kind of one of those things when it's biopics, it's like these individuals was always different to each independent person, you know? So like what MJ was for one person may not be the same for the other person.
And that's why I worry a little bit about, like, I like that his family is on board, but I don't think I like that they are spearheading it because you want to protect your family, you know? And so I don't know if the movie will be able to not have any bias to it where they can just tell Michael's story.
Yeah.
Like telling it without, like, we want the world to think this way. Like, just tell it as it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's tough, man. I will say that if you would have did a this or that, I probably would have taken on the docu series. I don't think I would have taken on this, but they definitely are seemingly starting off in the right direction when it comes to who they have behind the scenes. So, Mr. Fuqua, who has directed a lot of films like Training Day, all the Equalizers with Denzel, The Magnificent Seven, and recently The Emancipation with Will Smith. So you have a very seasoned and experienced director who knows how to work with big talent or big stories. So I really do. I really am interested in how he's going to bring his talent to this because the only thing that I was wondering is like, man, like, yeah, he's dang near one of the best directors of all time, especially Black directors of all time. But I wonder what is going to be his edge or what's going to be his voice in this because it seems like he's always. I haven't been able to watch Emancipation yet, but it seems like he's always good with working with very strong and heavy talent. So I wonder what is going to be his approach or his main focus or what he's going to bring to the story to bring it out. But, you know, very talented, you know, for him to work with Will Smith and Denzel on multiple occasions, that's a good look for me. It sounds like they're really trying to take this very seriously, you know, which of course everybody takes it seriously, but really trying to be intentional about who they bring to the table. One of the main producers of this is Graham King, who was the producer for Bohemian Rhapsody. So I haven't been able to watch that, but I know it got a lot of attention and accolades and nominations when it first came out. It's been on my watch list for ever since it's been out on, I believe, Hulu, but I just still haven't taken out the time to like watch it. Did you get to check it out? Cool. So I definitely plan on checking that out. But so very, very experienced producer right there. And then when it comes to one of the writers or the main writer, John Logan, who has written Gladiator, Hugo, and two of the James Bond movies as well early on. I don't think he directed, I don't think he wrote the last one that came out, I don't believe. So maybe like the first two. And so just Gladiator.
They pretty suited behind the scenes, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So just Gladiator alone, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it'd be pretty dope. But going back to Fuqua, I just really feel like they're gonna be heavy on the character and not the music. I feel like the music and the dancing, we're gonna get it, but I really he's a very, in my personal opinion, just studying his work, he's very good at directing characters and character driven films, and maybe that's what brought him to this project. But I'm really interested to see if it's going to be a little bit more on the actual individual as the individual who's playing Michael Jackson as opposed to as much of the music. I was telling. Uh,
I will say that Bohemian Rhapsody was more character driven as well. Like they still had those iconic Queen moments, but it was really about developing Freddie Mercury as a character.
So okay, like this. I mean, it's definitely seeing all of this, and definitely this last, I feel like, very important piece or obvious piece. Who is the person who's actually going to be playing Michael Jackson? I do feel like they are really taking really intentional approaches to making sure that this goes well. The main thing is that, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but Jafar Jackson is going to be actually playing Michael Jackson. And yes, from my understanding, he did audition for the film. He's going to be playing Michael Jackson in this film. And so ironically, like a few years ago, I actually watched one of his music videos, and it seemed pretty good. I can't remember the song at the moment or whatever, but just him just being in the space, understanding and having that familiarity. And I'm pretty sure all his nieces and nephews make sure they are very aware of what all their uncle did in the music industry, along with their, parents as well, especially those who were part of Jackson 5 and Janet Jackson. I feel like,
He favors him as well.
yeah, I saw the comparison, and he favors him a lot. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to be unfolding, and what it's going to look like and everything. So but yeah, so what are your final thoughts on the biopic?
Knowing the people that's behind the scenes, I'm a little bit more comfortable about it. I'll give it a look. I'm excited to see, like when they start showing set pictures and stuff, like that's probably when I get pumped for it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think one of the last, and I may be wrong. Well, I'll say movie, because I say Winning Time was pretty dang good when it comes to um, representing the Bus family and Magic Johnson and everything. But I will say, I think one of the recent biopics that just jumps out to me, and I don't know, I may have even watched it one time. And sometimes the ones that I only watch one time it means that it's really good. It may sound weird to some people, but
No, I'm the same way because most biopics are kind of long anyway. And so you don't have to watch it a million times to think it's amazing,
right. Right, but the one that stood out to me that I feel like was really dope, and something that I feel like it was just bold for them to pursue to produce anyway, is Straight Outta Compton.
Oh yeah, that was really, really good.
That was really good, man. And so, and speaking of that, apparently I'm gonna do a little research, but apparently they're getting ready to finally try to produce a biopic for Snoop Dogg.
Oh, cool.
So I'm
I wonder if
interested.
they're gonna use Lakeith again because Lakeith plays Snoop in Straight Outta Compton.
Okay, and he did a really good job too.
All-time favorite biopic is, and it's also my favorite movie, The Temptations.
Uh,
Like, despite the fact that it came from Otis' perspective, I still love that movie.
Yeah, yeah, it was good, man. It's just really hard to watch. This is really sad. It's a really sad film, but I mean, yeah, well, I don't want to say a really sad film, but it's very unfortunate, but it's authentic, and it's truthful. But yeah, that is a really good one. And I feel like I've watched others or wherever like that have done a good job, but I can't think of others right now. Maybe that's another topic
Selena.
that we can bring back or whatever. But
Wait, Selena was a really good one. The only thing I don't like about Selena was that they filmed it literally right after her death.
really?
Yeah, like she died in 95 and it came out in 96, which means they had to film it like the end of 95.
Wow. Hey, J Lo did her thing in there. I think
She did a thing.
the only other film I think I've enjoyed J Lo in the most was Monster in Law. I think that's the other one that comes to mind. So I've seen other ones too, but I think Monster in Law has been like my other favorite, I believe. So yeah, well, Blaze, I
What?
think this is the episode. This is the end.
This is the end.
This is the end of the episode, y'all. If you are just tuning in for the first time listening to us, please make sure that you check out the first episode. This is the second episode, and we will continue to try to bring these to you as soon as possible. I would say weekly, but hey, life be happening sometimes. And so
Life
I
be
don't want to
life.
get you, yeah, life be life. And so I don't want to get your hopes up for no reason. And then you be coming and fussing at us on the social media platforms and stuff. All right. So anyway,
But let
please,
us know what you think about the new Michael Jackson
yeah,
biopic. Like, you
like, what do you
excited?
think? Are you excited? Whatever the case may be, we're getting our socials all up together. So please make sure that you find us on Instagram at Ambitious Views Studios on Instagram. And then we're going to get our Facebook together as well. But just make sure that you check that out. We're going to keep it updated. We're going to put different topics on there at times just to be passively talking about things and just create a new hub just for people to just share their thoughts on different things that's going on in the media and everything like that and stuff, and just having a good time talking about stories. All right. Because the thing about our platform, we want to share unique perspectives of storytelling. All right. So without further ado, we're going to let you enjoy the rest of your day, whether you watching it, whether you listen to it in the morning, noon, or night. Have a good rest of the day. See y'all for the next episode.
This is
Peace.